All right. Well, we'll get started in just a minute here. We've got a good panel here with. So we're just going to talk about billing and invoicing, and in the telecom space. So we're going to have Datagate. We've got Mark Lubbies, um, and we've got CJ. And what they're going to talk about Datagate and telecom billing and just how to simplify telecom billing. And then we're going to take it through on the Benji Pays side. We have Adam and Avery, and they're going to take it through the invoicing side of just once you've got your telecom billing sorted out, how do you get paid and make sure that the cash flow cycle between provisioning of telecom services and actually getting paid for that is very quick and efficient. And so that's basically what we're going to talk about here today, and a little bit of the why. Why is this important? Well, there's a lot of reasons why it's important pertaining to managing your cash flow and just making sure that your cash conversion cycle is as quick and efficient as possible, and what you can do with that. So we're going to start off with we're going to have Mark talk a little bit about how Datagate works and how it connects with everything in the telecom space.
And thank you, Josh. Selling telecom is a fantastic opportunity for MSPs and CSPs. We are seeing all around the world that business customers actually have a preference to buy their telecom services off their MSP, who has a closer relationship with them and understands their business better. So it's a great recurring revenue opportunity for MSPs, and I guess sometimes the only thing that holds them back is complexity, and sometimes the complexity of compliance, complexity of taxes, and it's particularly in the United States. And so we've set up Datagate to really solve that problem, really hone in on the MSPs getting into selling telecom, CSPs, and so. What Datagate does, as you see in this diagram, is it generates the telecom invoices and integrates with software that MSPs use. And that may sound like a very logical thing to do, but I don't think anybody else on the market is doing it the same way that Datagate is. And that is so. Looking back at this diagram, you see how it all works. We call this our 30,000 foot view. So you have your telecom environment here. It could be a wholesale white label provider, or it could be a PBX. You get the CDR call information comes in through Datagate. Datagate is a cloud-based solution running on Microsoft Azure. It's collecting data all the time. So it collects the telecom information, it generates the telecom invoice from that. It often in the United States and Canada in particular. It uses a telecom tax engine to calculate all the federal, state, county, and city taxes. So it's got a complicated tax situation handled very easily in our system and generates the invoices. It can optionally send those invoices to the customers directly. But more importantly, the invoices it generates can be sent through to the PSA system if the MSP is using ConnectWise PSA or Halo PSA or Autotask, very popular solutions used by MSPs. And if they don't use a PSA, it can go straight into their accounting system. And the most popular ones there for MSPs are QuickBooks and Xero. And so Datagate will also just share data with these systems, and so there's no double entry required. It's all automatic and very quick and flexible. So then you've got an automated system that's going to be very effortlessly generating invoices, and when it comes to payments, this is where we at Datagate really love the Benji Pays solution because it's got, as we're going to see in this demonstration, it has a nice integration with Datagate, and also as it does with PSA systems and the accounting systems, where it sort of unifies the picture to the end customer. So the end customer can receive an email from Benji Pays, which will have a Datagate invoice on it. It might also have a PSA generated invoice, and also potentially a QuickBooks or Xero generated invoice on the same on the same email. So what that's doing and what we're excited about is it's really unifying the model for MSPs. And this is something the MSPs tell us all the time. They want ideally to send one communication out to their customer at the end of the month. This is everything we're doing. We're doing all this IT work. We're doing phone system, anything else that's happening. And so that's why, we're thrilled to be here on this presentation along with Benji Pays. And I'll hand over to my colleague now, CJ. CJ's based in Atlanta, and he's going to show us how Datagate works. And so we can see the full diagram, full detail of how these systems work together. But this is the overview you see on the diagram. Thank you, CJ. You can take it now. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. And thanks, Benji Pays, for having us. So my Zoom did an update, so I see my camera's been following me. But I'll go ahead I'll go ahead and share my screen here.
Yeah.
If you guys will accept that request there. Sweet.
Do I stop my share?
No, you're fine. All right, awesome, guys. So as Mark was saying, the MSP utilizing a platform like Datagate is super important because we do automate that telecom digestion process, and as well as getting that on the invoice and easy to read, really clean. And it's pretty awesome that the integration that we have with Benji, because we all act in the same ecosystem. So in that diagram that you saw, not only are we integrating to the QuickBooks Zero and Benji, but we also have that integration into various PSAs, just on both sides, just to make the flow of data seamless and easy. So as you see my screen right here, this is just the dashboard of Datagate. It's pretty cool here because you can see a compilation of all the reports and everything that's happening in the system. So you don't have to really dive into a lot of the detailed, customer accounts to really get that high level overview of what's happening. But if I were to dive into a customer account here on the left-hand side, we already have a customer that we've been working on that makes sense for this demo, which is Kathy Consulting Group. But before I dive into Kathy, we do have a synchronization button as well. And this is where we can sync the customers to the platform, just so you guys can kind of see just that integration without actually diving into the integrations itself. But your PSA will also live up here as well. But if I dove into Kathy's consulting company here, this is the data that we can house in Datagate. So as you can see, we have all the customer information that comes from, say, the PSA, the CRM, and then as well as the billing details and any of the tax data. But more importantly, is that we house the products that you guys are selling on the telecom side inside of Datagate holistically and on the customer level. And why this is important is because this is what, accounts and kind of controls that taxation and exactly what you guys you're charging your customers and the taxes that are being applied. The integrations on the back end account for these products to be taxed accurately. And then ultimately that, drives into an invoice to where you guys can see your invoices on the customer account here as well. We have them color coded, so it's green, so that means it's sent. And you can also see your agreements, not only on just the customer account, but holistically across your entire platform. So if I was to go to the date and click the first of the month, you can see all the invoices that are ready to go out ahead and be sent to the customer. You also can see the product catalog holistically, not just on the customer level, and control that information on what you're charging the customer. But after all that information, is collected by Datagate, the CDRs are coming through and all the usage is calculated, and you guys are ready to create an invoice to go ahead and get that CDR to cash process ultimately finished. This is what an invoice is going to look like coming out of the platform. And we, can customize the invoice to your look and feel. But we're going to have your logo here as well as all of your products and then the taxes and surcharges. And ultimately that flows into your PSA, your Benji Pays platform, or your QuickBooks, where you can utilize Benji Pays to go ahead and execute that payment and receive those funds. So I'll go ahead and pass it over to that team if I missed anything.
Just one last thing, CJ, just noticing on the invoice that we have different formats for that can be customized to the customer's requirement, but also we handle all the different requirements of the various countries, including the United States, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and so invoices can be formatted differently to comply with the requirements of each of those countries too. So see, we're showing a Canadian example here, but we're equally capable of producing US and other formats as well. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. And as well as the currency. So I appreciate that, Mark.
Awesome. Thanks, CJ and Mark. Hey, it's Avery from Benji Pays. Yeah, that's really cool. How the I didn't realize how complicated the telecom billing was in the background with all the taxes and everything, and that's awesome that how Datagate pulls that all together and just takes care of that whole revenue stream for the MSPs. Very cool.
It could be a nightmare for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So yeah, that's awesome. So where Benji Pays comes in into the picture is like CJ and Mark were saying is amalgamating all the billing information together for your customers and making it easy for you to collect payment and for them to pay. I'm gonna share my screen and walk through some of this, but yeah, it's pretty cool the way that Benji Pays can help manage some of this is by sorry, is my screen sharing there? Looks
Yes.
good. Okay, thanks. Is by providing like a single pane of glass for your customers to be able to see their invoices for all of the services you provide for them, if that's telecom, any services or hardware or anything that you're billing directly through your PSA, or even invoices that you create directly in your accounting system can all be presented together. So what you see on your screen is the Benji Pays merchant portal. So this is like where you as an MSP will see all of your customers and a roll up of all your things like day sales outstanding, how long it takes you to get paid. On the Benji Pays dashboard, you'll also see things like how many transactions you've done in the last month, how much money you've collected over the past. This goes 12 months, so you'll be able to see all that in your dashboard. So just to get started here, I just want to show you a couple of the cool features. So in Benji Pays, for one, it has an instant sync with your accounting system. So if it's QuickBooks or Xero, anything that gets pushed to your accounting system from your PSA or from Datagate will be picked up right away in Benji Pays. As soon as it's in Benji Pays, there's a lot of different ways that you can get paid. So Benji Pays can automatically process invoices when they're due, regardless if they're telecom or managed services or hardware, what they might be. Benji Pays can automatically send out notifications, payment links for new invoices, and Benji Pays can also even send out like monthly statements or summaries of all the amalgamated invoices. So one of the cool things that we can do is send in like I was just mentioning, send an account summary to the customer. So this is the customer's email. They've got an account summary coming from Benji Pays. So again, when Benji Pays sends any email from your Benji Pays account to your customer, it's going to come from your email address. So if your customer replies to it, it's going to come right to you. It's going to have your logo. And this list here is all the outstanding invoices for this particular customer, Kathy's Consulting. So Kathy's Consulting has 3 outstanding invoices right now. And if I just scroll down here, I'll show you there's 3 PDF attachments right here on this email. And this one is an invoice coming from Halo PSA, from the PSA. This is the Datagate invoice that the same ones CJ was just presenting to us a minute ago, attached right to this email coming from Benji Pays. And this is just an email. This is an invoice that was just generated right in QuickBooks, just to show that we can amalgamate all those into one email, which the customer can easily just click pay and pay those invoices. So next, I just want to walk into the customer portal here. So this is actually a place where your customer can log in and self-serve. So in your customer portal, a couple of things to note. You get a white label domain, so you could get like payments.yourmsp.com, where your customers can come see all of their invoices, see all their transaction history, update their payment methods if they want to add or remove credit card or banking details. They can turn auto pay on or off in here. And see all these invoices here. These are the same 3 invoices we were just looking at in the email. One of them was a Datagate invoice, one was a Halo invoice, and one was a QuickBooks invoice. If I just click on the button here, the actual PDF is going to open up from whichever system it's from. So this is the actual PDF from Datagate, and this one here, if we click, it's going to open up the invoice. I can't remember if this is the Halo or the QuickBooks one. This is the QuickBooks one. And then of course we've got another invoice here that was generated in Halo. So the way that Benji Pays is able to do all this, just quickly show you how we have this integration set up here. So we've got integration set up to Halo, and we've got a Datagate integration also set up here. And we can set the invoice priority settings here in Benji Pays. So the way this works is if Benji Pays looks at the invoice number, and if it first checks Datagate to see if that invoice exists there. If not, does it exist in Halo? Okay, no. Does it? Then we'll produce the QuickBooks one. So very easy to set that all up. A couple other quick things I just want to walk through in Benji Pays. One of the most loved features in Benji Pays that MSPs love is called Invoice Rover. And Invoice Rover is the automated emailing system that's built into Benji Pays that can send a few different types of emails. So as I was mentioning earlier, that Benji Pays can send notifications automatically for new invoices. So that's a new invoice notification. You can set these up to apply to all customers or a subset of customers. You can have different rules for different groups. So that's new invoice. We've got the account summary, which is that email that we just looked at in the customer's mailbox, which was a list of any of the unpaid invoices. And then we've got invoice coming due and invoice overdue rules. So when a coming due notice would come really handy is, for example, if you have your customers set up on auto pay and their invoices are due, say on the first of the month, and they're set up with ACH or EFT or credit card payments on that date, you could have a coming due reminder go out a few days before that to say, reminder, your invoice is going to be automatically charged on the due date. Please make sure there's sufficient funds in your bank account or on your credit card. And then overdue, these rules can be set up with multiple rule periods. So this one is saying if the invoice is unpaid 1 day after the due date, send a reminder. If it's still unpaid after 7 days, send another reminder. And we can add as many rule periods here as we like. And what's really cool here is that we can actually use a different email template for each rule period. So as the invoice becomes farther overdue, the language can be, you can have automatically escalating language. So you can basically, the first 1 or 2 might be like, we've noticed your invoice is unpaid. Please click here to pay. And then maybe once it gets to 30 days overdue, you're saying your services is going to be suspended. Please be sure to pay this immediately. So this part can all be automated. And this tool itself, just the overdue rules, we found MSPs cut their day sales outstanding dramatically just by having these automated reminders built in that don't require a human to look at and deal with these things, because it's pretty natural that either we as humans either forget to send these things out, or maybe we're a bit too we don't follow our rules all the time with asking to be paid. So this is a really powerful tool in that sense. Yeah, so that's a quick overview of Benji Pays, and happy to answer any questions if anybody had any questions. But for now, yeah, I'll pass it on to Adam to talk a bit more about Benji Pays.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Avery. Should mention too, like everything you just saw there, highly configurable. So there's a ton of settings, a ton of things you can turn on and off. If you don't want your customers to be able to like flip auto pay on and off, you can stop that. Multiple payment invoices in a single payment. You have lots of decisions you can make. So we spent a lot of time listening to MSPs, working with you guys, and taking that feedback and making it as configurable as possible to give you guys the best set of tools to make it work for your business. So I'm going to share my screen here. I've got just a few slides. I'm not a huge fan of doing slides. Let's see if I can figure this out. Of course, I can't see the screen I need to share. Here, we're going to try this a different way. All right, we'll just do it this way. So everyone see that? Sorry, I'm having technical problems here, but this always happens. I'm good at payments, bad at Zoom, I always say. So yeah, thanks Mark and Avery for walking through I'm going to just do a quick summary here of like how Benji Pays can help you. So we basically sit in the middle, or I guess at the end of that whole process, right? The idea here is like, I would say like automate your happy path. So you got Datagate that's going to automate all that telecom billing. You've got your PSA or Halo hopefully is automating your monthly invoices and all the billing from all the work your techs are doing. Any hardware, et cetera. And then all of that's going to flow into your accounting system and into Benji Pays. And that's where we can basically, anything that's going to process, we can automate that based on the due date by default, but there's a bunch of other rules and controls that you can put in there. And that's really going to allow you to like spend your time on where the problems are and help improve your process and make sure you're getting paid from the folks that maybe have an expired card or they're maybe problematic in how they get money to you on a monthly basis. It happens. So as they said, like we're going to really help you unify that, right? Like the whole idea is here is that you get, as Avery said, a single pane of glass for your customer, but also you have like one tool like that takes everything and makes sure your money's coming in as quickly as possible. Super important. And that is super configurable. So it's been really great working with Datagate. Their tech is super easy for us to work with, and it just works. So we have had very few problems, which is always nice when you're writing integrations. I should mention too, like, so Avery and I have a technical background. I'm a software developer by trade. Avery is an infrastructure guy. We both started in the MSP space many, many years ago, more than I'd like to talk about. And so we've been where you guys are. I actually had an MSP franchise back in the day, in the early 2000s. Ran a bunch of small businesses. We all have these problems. So we actually set out to build Benji Pays to solve problems that we have, the same problems that you guys have. And not because we're bankers, not because we want to find a way to take a percentage of payments. We happen to be in fintech, but we really get up out of bed every day to solve problems and help make your life better when it comes to managing your business through technology. Same kind of thing you guys are doing, I'm sure. So the problem, as we know, as business owners, getting paid can be often, it's especially in those early days, it's relegated to the owners. Friday nights, Sunday mornings, maybe instead of spending time with the family. And sometimes it can take a back seat, which is not great for your cash flow. Chasing those things is a ton of work. And you start to see your day sales outstanding, like how long it takes you to turn an invoice into cash slip over time. And at the beginning, it's easy because you only maybe have a few customers. But as you're growing, and anyone who's established and been doing this for a few years knows, it can get out of hand quickly. And it can really impact your ability to run your business. At the worst case, how do you pay your suppliers and people? At the best case, like maybe you can't invest as much in your business because it's tied up in receivables. So what can you do about it? Like you have a few alternatives, right? You can just keep doing what you're doing. So if maybe you have a system that's not fully automated, or you have someone who's doing this work all manually, that you could keep doing that, but it's not going to make anything better. You could work with some solutions that aren't built for your type of business, or maybe aren't fully automated and integrated with all the tools that you used. But that's only going to alleviate part of those problems, right? And so that's where Benji Pays comes in. We really believe we're building the most complete solution. We're taking a very fair and transparent approach to pricing, both in our SaaS fees and in payments in general, which is not always the case in that industry. And we really are every day we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we make this better for you? What can we do to improve the product and just build a really amazing product for you guys? To help you out, help you run your businesses. So built, like I mentioned, built by business owners for business owners. You're gonna get a bunch of things. So we already mentioned auto pay, a ton of flexibility in there. You can get paid by bank payments, so ACH, credit cards, all throughout North America, and actually other countries as well through some of our gateway partners. You're going to have a full customer portal, as Avery showed you. What's really cool there is if you're using Halo PSA, for instance, we can actually iframe our portal in their portal. So your customer, we have full SSO integration with their IDP, which means that your customer logs in once to the Halo end user portal, and they're going to be automatically logged into the Benji Pays portal. They're not, as far as they're concerned, it's all going to be part of the same thing. It's really great. We've got invoice rover, we showed you, and reconciliation as well. So like automating as much of the accounting transactions, which we haven't really talked about, but getting all that stuff into the accounting system properly and automatically to help reduce the amount of time you're spending on your bookkeeping and following up with payments and AR. We've got low platform fees. So, you can't, in this industry with payments, I hate to say it, but the banks, you can't get away from credit card fees. It's just never going to happen. You can do a few things though to mitigate, right? So one, you can pass those fees on to your customers. So you can use what's called surcharging to pass all or a portion of those fees on. Two, you could try to push as many to ACH and EFT, which really works well if you have surcharging. You basically present your customers a link. They click, they can choose, I'm going to pay with credit card, but it's going to cost me 3%, or I'm going to pay by bank and it's free. And that can help. All of that falls to your bottom line, right? So help eliminate those fees that you're paying to the credit card companies. On the platform side, we have a flat monthly transparent fees for the platform that include a set number of invoices. We do not charge you by how much revenue you produce. We don't take a percentage of your revenue on the platform side. As a business owner and having run other businesses, I was really tired of, it seemed like everyone had their hand out for another piece of the P&L before I got any. And so, or my staff or anything. And so we strongly believe that we shouldn't be basing the value of our product on how much you're processing or taking a percentage of that. The value of processing a transaction is the same, whether it's $1 or $1,000. So that's a strong belief of ours. All our pricing is on the website. Super easy to see, super transparent. So a few things like why use Benji Pays? Get your DSO down. So day sales outstanding is a really good indicator of the health of your cash flow. Most of our partners who are using AutoPay are sub 1 week in getting paid. Some of them are even sub 2 or 3 days. Whereas we've seen folks who come to us who are maybe still taking checks, who don't have a system. We think they're doing pretty well, but they're actually in the 30 to 60 days of DSO. And so that means that they're actually operating as a bank, right? So they've got 30 to 60 days of outstanding cash, money that they've actually earned sitting in their customers' bank accounts. And in the meantime, they may, this might ring close to home for some of you, but in the meantime, you're basically lending that money at 0% interest. And so you're a bank, but you're not a great bank because you're not making any money on the lending, and you're probably not charging any late fees or anything like that. So don't be a bank. None of us got into business to be a bank. It can be sometimes feel scary for folks who are running a business to go out and push to try to get paid or kind of indicate to their customers, this is how we do business. You need to be on AutoPay. We have to have your card or bank on file. We've seen thousands of businesses make that change from a manual process to an AutoPay process, and afterwards they all said it wasn't as bad as they thought it was going to be. Most customers were fine, and the ones that weren't, they dealt with on a case to case. So don't be a bank. Get paid. Get your money in the bank. The other thing with that, you're going to get exceptional customer service. Our team is all local. We all work out of the office. We have only 5-star reviews. If you go look for us on whatever your rating sites that you want to look at, our customers are very, very happy. And there are rating fans, which is great. So easy. Many of them would be happy to also chat with anybody if they have questions. But we do have some testimonial videos and whatnot that should be pretty easy to find. So I think the big message here between us and Datagate, we just make this as so easy it feels wrong, right? And this should hopefully, if you're not currently doing your telecom, like having it be so easy is, I mean, makes it obvious how you could open up another revenue stream.
Absolutely.
So we got, yeah, that's our link to book a demo at Benji Pays. I think for Datagate, it's what's the address, Mark?
Datagate-i.com. So
Okay.
as our web address, datagate-i.com. Thank you.
Awesome.
And no, I love the automation. Well done, guys. Benji is a great platform, and yeah, very impressed. Very impressed. It's definitely what I believe our MSP customers are looking for: this unification and automation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Super awesome.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions? I'm not sure. Josh, is the Q&A open here?
Q&A is open. There are no open questions at the moment.
We'll just see if any pop up. If not, you'll let people get on with their day.
Well, I'd say if there's any questions anybody has, just you can simply send an email to anyone here on the team as well. We'll be able to answer.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Mark, CJ,
Thank
thanks
you,
again.
guys. Thank you.
It was a pleasure,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Thanks for everyone
Okay.
for joining.
bye.
Bye.